All right. Oh, we have on the line the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, David Chartrand. Are you in your backyard?
I'm in backyard listening to you this morning. I'm just putting my little radio full blast, and laughing and enjoying the show, and of course listening to all the callers calling in. And you really reveal your age again today, Ray. And when you talked about Rose Boudreau and said, "Yeah, I didn't bring her record." I don't think they use records anymore. I think it's CDs and new technology now.
That's why my records didn't sell.
I'm the same way as you, man. My wife corrects me at home. Sometimes I'll talk that way. Where's the record? You're looking for a CD. Yeah.
No.
So, but anyways, it was. As you know, I was fishing out in Cranberry Portage, which I actually love going out there, and I want to thank Tracy Como and Tanis Como and taking care of me, spoiling me a little bit out in that territory, and I had a great time with Derek and the rest of the guys. We went out and fished and caught some big ones. Ray, I caught a master, and it broke right at the boat. I caught a master a couple of years ago, or last year. I'm sorry, a year and a half ago, but this one, I had this master pickerel, walleye. You could just see how big he was. I tell you, it was a big jackfish. And then we got close, and I had him right in the side of the boat, and John grabbed the net, and then he almost got him in the first swoop, and he dived down again. He come back, pulled him right up, and just giant. My heart was just pounding, and just when he was going to get him, he snapped the line.
Oh.
And they told me, I told the story, well, at least I had witnesses, so I'm not making this up. And when I got back, they said, no, those are just stories. Until he's in a boat, it doesn't count. But I saw him, Ray, it broke my heart. Holy man, But we bought some fish back, because I know Lloyd Vermillion wants some, and I bought him some for him and his wife. And Jean Chaboyer, it's his birthday, in fact. Today is his birthday. We talked about him last Saturday. And he asked me to bring him some fish. I caught a big trout too, Ray, and that was. I said I got a snag here. I think I got into a big weeds or a log. I said, and I was pulling. My rod was just bent, and I said, well, I hope I would snap the line. I think it's a log, and this big trout came out. I got a picture to prove that. I got him on a boat. So, and I know trout is a very strong tasting fish. So, but anyways, I got some fish for the elders, and so they call in as long as not too many didn't call in. We got enough to feed quite a bit, so a nice one feed anyway. So let's start off with Jean Chaboyer's birthdays today. He's going to be, he says 8 decades plus 6, so that means 86 to him. And Alexi McKay is also celebrating her birthday on June 3rd. Then we have my mother-in-law tomorrow, Janice Yakic. I hope she's listening on Cranberry. I went to try to see her yesterday, but she was not around the door. Nobody's answering the door. But I left her some fish and some cigarettes and then some chili that Tracy made. And then Dennis Hatch, I want to thank him he sent me a smoked pork. I guess he smokes pork, and he sent it to me in Cranberry. So I sent her a chunk of that, too. So happy birthday, Janice. So we'll spoil you when you come to Winnipeg. She's got a doctor's appointment, and we'll probably take her out for dinner, or I'm sure her daughter is going to spoil her here with a good meal at home. And, of course, you have your tree that you play your music, Tree Latu, Teresa. And she celebrated her birthday on Sunday, also June 5th. So happy birthday, Tree. And Ray, I'm sure, will play one of your country tunes. And also happy 48th birthday to Keith Ginther from Selkirk. He's a local chair. And, of course, his daughter actually did her CD launch just recently on the 27th, I believe. So it was great to see the pride they have in her left-hand fiddling. And she does a superb job. Also heard Fifi and them talking about their mom Rose, and she does. I do love that song you play. She does such a superb job. She reminds me of the days going up in Duck Bay, and you sometimes went to certain houses and you'd hear those old timers sing. The older people, and whether it's the woman or the man, and they just have that old time sound.
What kind of sound? What kind of sound is that?
No, she sounds better than that, Ray. Actually, I really like the way she sounds. So. Happy birthday, Rose. And actually, I want to send her a bouquet of flowers for her birthday. So, Fifi, if you can call into the back of the show, tell her the time. Jack Park's going there tomorrow to your birthday gathering for your mom, or Skinny Bones, or somebody phone in. Tell us the time at the hall. Jack wants to pop by and drop off some flowers. So, happy, again, 94th birthday to Rose. We do have a sad part today. I got a call just about 10 minutes ago. One of our elders in Duck Bay just passed. His nickname was Lottie, everybody knew him as Lottie, but his real name was Marvin Janai. He just died today, not long ago, at 82 years old, and he died this morning. So I want to send our condolences to Janai family. He's well known in Duck Bay, and Ray was one of the best filleters you could ever see. Like, it was magic when you watched him with his hands when he's filleting a fish. It's like, I'm talking like one stroke at a time. Well, I would tear a fish up. I see some like Derek Danielson's a hell of a good filleter, but this guy was the number one pro. And he always was a carpenter, did all kind of different work. Always worked all his life, and so he was very proud guy. And so happy journey, of course, Lottie, to your new home. And I'm sure Brian Thompson, Brian Laputsky calls himself now, but Brian Thompson and Dauphin will be helping him. Very close friend, arranging the funeral for him because his family sisters live in Alberta. I'm sure he'll be coming home to bury him. He already chose his lot where to be buried. So, again, I know Lottie personally. My wife had actually sent food his way when we were out there in Duck Bay. When she cooked big meals, we'd always drop the Bajou and Lottie. Everybody's got names. The older people have nicknames. Young generation, they don't have nicknames. They lost that tradition. Mm-hmm. And but it's good to know that he's a well-respected man. So he'll be on his new journey. So I also have some other news. We have David Suzuki and his wife, Tara Cullis, stopped by the Lou Riel gravesite, right? They want to pay homage to Riel and our great leader, and they wanted to visit his site and visit his graveyard as they tour across Canada with their electric car. And so I want to thank David Suzuki and his wife, Tara, for stopping by and paying tribute to our great leader, Lou Riel. So something I'm very proud of to see. And, of course, everybody knows David Suzuki is one of the most strong, defined environmentalists in North America and probably the world. He's well known everywhere. So, but I really appreciate it. He took the time to go and visit Lou Riel. As I still pray and hope that the Pope will actually come here and still pay a blessing to Riel, and that's something I'm not giving up on. But I also have some good news for Saskatchewan listeners that listen on our show, and I know they do because I have my friends personally from Pine House who listen, and it's good to send the news out to Métis harvesters out there. Kathy Hodgson-Smith and Clem Chartrand just won their case that they've been going for over 8 years in the courts. It was actually known as the Patra and Boyer trial, and actually they were charged for harvesting outside what Saskatchewan defines their area. Although they grew up in the north and live in a different part, they basically said you're out of your zone, you can't hunt and because in Saskatchewan it's really different. They go acre by acre, I'll say front yard, backyard kind of concept, and that's all you're allowed to hunt in that area. Well, of course, there's nothing there. So it's truly a misrepresentation of what the Supreme Court of Canada believes on harvesting rights when we talk about nation. And that's how rights are derived from nation. You don't have a right as an individual. You have a right coming from your nation. So how does a nation define itself in a front yard or a backyard? Of course not. So a nation has a territory. So within that concept, the Court of Appeal has now corrected the lower court and saying that they want a retrial for Patra and Boyer, that their rights are mobile and they should not be defined to a front or backyard. I don't think that's what the Supreme Court of Canada meant. So, Ray, we took interveners, the MMF, and, of course, representing, supporting our Red River Métis no matter where they live. We're the only ones that stood up for them. I'm very proud of that. MNC, when I was there, I also stood up for them as vice president. And so did Clement, who couldn't, of course, he was president, and the lawyer acting on their behalf, and that no charge rate, pro bono, because Patra and Warren didn't have money, Boyer, so Cathy and Clement did the trial on their own, and there's two Métis lawyers, and they were very successful, and I'm very proud of them. So I want to express to our Red River citizens that are living all over Western Canada, if you're listening, the Red River MMF will be there to try to protect and ensure our rights are respected in this country. That's what we fought hard for back in a lot of our leaders like Lou Riel. You look at Cuthbert Grant. You look at the great leaders of Gabriel Germain. You look at all of these people. They all invested and lost it unpaid with their life and paid with hardship. And today we enjoy that right we have. It's supposed to be protected in the Constitution, and provinces are not immune to it. They don't. Sometimes they believe they don't have to follow the law. Well, unfortunately, they have to follow the law like we have to. So again, I'm very proud of that. Proud of both Clement and Cathy and for what they did. and standing for, and I'm proud of my cabinet for standing and saying we'll support our people even if they live in the prairies, because our river Métis is our homeland, and it's all of the prairies. So clearly, when you look at it from that, it's not just a red river in which people try to sometimes disguise negativity, just meaning that people that live in the Red River area, meaning by the Forks kind of concept, but that's not what it means. Red River is actually our people who live in Western Canada. So we have thousands upon thousands joining today, getting their harvester cards, applying for a citizenship card, and we will protect our people. As soon as they enter our territory where we've defined our right to harvest, they will have that right to practice their rights within our homeland. But those that are being charged illegally, like what has happened in Patra and Boyer, that's why we stepped in. And we also took intervener, and people may not understand from the legal context, there's a lot of language in law. But when you look at this atoll, which is a case in British Columbia, it's a First Nation case, where the family had moved generations already into the United States. But when they came back to British Columbia, they wanted to practice their harvesting right, and they got charged. They went all the way to court, and they won. And we took intervener on that, too, because we want to make sure that we believe our rights are mobile. They're not in the front yard only nor the backyard only. That's what governments and people that are against our rights would love to have, that control, to tell us we only hunt in little locations that are assigned to us. And if there's no animals there, you can't hunt. There's no fish, you can't fish. Well, that's absolutely not true. It can't be. So anyway, we've taken intervener status on these issues. The River Métis harvesting is very important to our people, and we'll protect them. So again, kudos to you guys, Cathy, Sit, and also to Clement, to Warren, and Boyer, and Oliver Patra. Thank you again for believing and standing up for your rights, and I'm very proud of the Métis government of Red River. We're there to do our part to protect our people and to ensure that we have brave people out there that are willing to stand up and defend for their rights. So again, kudos to all of them. So that's a big win in the court there, Ray, and I'm very, very pleased on that. It just came down. And so people, as I say, will be talking all over Saskatchewan that we have a chance. On Friday, even though I was fishing, I still got to participate in meetings. I was participating in a summit for the Indigenous peoples across Americas. And we had President Fawn Sharp, Hugo Takari, we had Brooklyn Rivera, Wilton Littlechild, everybody is famous here in Canada. He's one of the persons that you've seen in the United Nations. You've seen him all over in the international forums. He's been famous for that. He's also a chief in Alberta. His Excellency, the Secretary General Louis Amargo, was also part of it, and Ken Deere from the Mohawks, and of course our Ambassador Clamart Chartrand. And I had to speak and give greetings on the opening of that meeting, a very important meeting. And people would say, why is he saying all these names? We don't know these people. The good thing about it is we are going to get to know these people more and more, because these people are the ones that are fighting, which won the UN Declaration, which we just got approved in Canada, which is now law. And the UN Declaration protects Indigenous rights, and meaning even the mobile rights, the rights to children, the rights to language, all these things which is protected under the United Nations in the Americas. And I'm very proud that a lot of the people I just mentioned are part of those fighters that are doing that. So most of them, again, I spoke on this issue, Ray, and it goes back even to your era. You know, people like you were, to me, heroes, and you paid your due, you paid your time, you went through the bar scene all the way up to the top, into even the TV shows. And as you age in time, we need a young generation to be ready behind you. And same thing with us, behind these politicians, behind these UN fighters that are fighting for rights internationally. We need to make sure young people understand the importance of that role. Imagine if no one was there, the United Nations Declaration that we're all proud of in Canada would no longer exist. It wouldn't even probably come to the floor, because of these people, it does come to the floor. So I was very honored to speak there and talk about our partnerships. Like as I said, where we need to look beyond our borders, and that's why we're actually having our first meeting is taking place on July 22nd in Calgary. We're meeting with our citizens of the Red River that now have citizenship card with the Federation, and we're going to be talking about the future. What does it look like? How do we provide services? How do we ensure we protect our citizens? And we're going to hear their opinions and views. But beyond borders, to me, is even beyond that. It's beyond the country. That's why we're working closely with Colombia, because I believe there's a great economic opportunity, but a great political opportunity for all of us to show that Indigenous people coming together, supporting each other, can really make change and really make a difference, not only in today's economy, in today's society, but even overall in the environment. because I know Indigenous people, including the Métis, are very, very proficient on making very clear that conservation is a priority. And that's why people don't realize this, but I'll show you how proud of our elders and our people, the Métis people. As we went across during Senator Head's days when he was with us and being one of our senior advisors and our elders, he traveled across the province. We did consultations about our harvesting rights. And the number one issue that came out of all of the guidance from all of our people, and we met thousands and thousands of our people asking their opinions and views about our harvesting laws. And what came out, number one, Ray, is conservation. That's what most of the elders, our citizens, our families all said. If we don't protect conservation, then what are we protecting for the next generation? What are they going to hunt if there's nothing left? Where are they going to fish if there's no fish? Mm-hmm. So we need to protect it. So for the next generation to also enjoy it, and the generation after that. So it shows that we have always been conservationists, and of course First Nations really pride themselves in that sector too. So we have a big role to play, especially knowing how climate has changed. You know, when I was fishing out there, I was freezing. I took summer clothes. I didn't take any winter clothes. It snowed. You know, so in June, you know, that to scare somebody, like it just tells you how things are so different now. The weather is changing. Look at the water. Look at the forest fires that happen now, and drought. You know, so it's a changing environment, and we need to pay attention to that. So again, going and working with other international Indigenous peoples is a smart move, and that's something we're going to continue to do. I'll actually be going to a conference in Colombia in October, and I'll be sitting down with the tribes again there, and also with other Indigenous leaders across the Americas. And business people across America, Indigenous business people. So, but I want to look at how we can really expand our economy, because I tell you, we can have a partnership with them with their panela, which is their pure sugar, or their coffee, or other produce, or other commodities that they're selling. It's a win-win for everyone, including them. So, again, Ray, I'll keep you guys posted on that, but that is something I really said strong messages to my cabinet. We need to expand our vision beyond just our province. We got to go just beyond past our region. We talk economics. We got to look across the world and see where do we fit in, and how can we make a difference to make sure we can keep some economies going in our own communities. On other matters, I want to say again to some congratulations, but I want to first talk about the Health and Wellness Department that's happening. It's happening, in fact, Ray, on June 8th. The registration is June 8th. Deadline. And this is, again, very important. Health and Wellness Department's consultations were happening on June 11th at the Clarion Hotel. You may be able to join by Zoom. It doesn't say that on my list here, but you can register. Deadline is June 8th. I'm sure once you get into your region, you can get hold of your vice president, whether it's Andrew Carey or Winnipeg, Denise Thomas in the southeast, or southwest, Leah LaPlante, or Jack Park in the Interlake. So you can get a hold of any of the regional offices. As administrators, they'll be there to help you and set you up. There'll be northern consultations later, but this one is set for June 11. And why it's so important is that we need to look at how we need to change the health factor of helping our people. Right now, our people are so proud that we're giving free medicine through our own earnings of revenue through the pharmacy. And the second pharmacy in Dauphin is to be opening soon. Once the completion of the construction is almost done, it's probably 99% done. But the key point at the end of the day is our own money we're using, our own resources. In law and in what we fought for in the Constitution, that this service is supposed to be provided to us by Canada and the provinces, but Canada in particular. So we're asking ourselves, if we go through most of our villages today, all of us stop and think for a second. You'll find some in your community that needs addicted, for sure. Some people innocently get addicted. Some get caught up in different situations and end up using drugs and get caught. I'm not immune to it. My son got addicted to drugs, so I'm not afraid to say, because it's not a curse. It's a problem we need to find solutions for. So no matter who you are, don't think you're untouchable. And so we need to look at how do we make sure we can help and change people's lives. There are people with mental issues that are facing struggling situations. They have nowhere to get help. And the same thing with addiction foundations. There's so limited support out there. So I want to build this facility. As I said, we already ripped down the building. I'm pushing hard with Canada right now to try to get funding in place for this. But if not, I'm hoping to start construction even with our own money to make sure we have a place that people can turn to and count on when they're struggling and they don't know where to go. Because one of the things I fear the most is that people start contemplating suicide when they find that they think there's no help out there, there's nowhere to turn. They just give up hope, and we can't give up hope. We got to believe in it. So this health and wellness consultation is so important. Go into the website. If you can join, please join, because we want to hear your opinion, your ideas, and some of your solutions, because you may have a perfect solution nobody has even thought of yet. So there's no such thing as a dumb idea or an idea that doesn't make sense. Every idea could make sense. It depends. Could it be implemented? Is there a way? Maybe not. But it doesn't hurt to express that idea or concern or vision of what we see. So again, it's also another one that we look at, Ray, is that affordability. We have a citizen right now in Alberta that is in his deathbed, but he's still alive and surviving, and I send prayers their way to the family. I talked about it on the show, that's the Suzuki family, and they're out there right now, and they're, Donna was practically fully in tears on a regular basis because I looked at a picture of her son, and he looked so bad in the hospital. So, but you start looking at it, there's all kind of things that occur, and where do they turn for help? And they're struggling families as it is. So, MMF is definitely supporting many of those people with the funding we're getting and the funding we're raising on our own. And we want to make sure, like we do with funerals. So we want to make sure we're there to help out. So we need to put these stronger supports in place. And this mental health and addictions is a big issue. It's a serious issue. And we have never in the Federation's history been able to venture into that area because of the cost. So I've made it very clear in my commitment, we are going to be addressing this. We are going to do something about it, and my cabinet knows it. My Minister of Health, Francis Chartrand, knows it. I said, this is a priority for me. Yes, we're doing early learning childcare. We're doing housing. We're doing education. We're doing economics. But we need to focus a lot on the health side, and we need to start turning our attention to the health sector side and making a difference. So that's going to be part of our 4-year commitment this round. You'll see some big investments in health, and we're pushing Canada for that health legislation, which is going to make a big difference for our people, and that where they can assure themselves that there will be supports. And as I said on the show, we are building our facility in Winnipeg on Notre Dame. We already got the land, and that'll be, I think, 18 apartments in it. There are 18 private settings for families to come in when they have a loved one in the hospital. So it'll be our own Mazone, I think they call it, or something. They got a name for it already so far, but it's not the official name. And I said if people want to send out a name for a helping place like that, that's going to help families come here and wait for their loved one in the hospital. Because, parents, grandparents, sometimes in our culture, they always have to be near the person because that's the way we are. That's our culture. We'll always, when my mom was in hospital, everybody was there. Every damn day, we would never give up. We stayed there until she left this world, and it took 14 days, but we never left her side, never. So, again, I encourage our people to participate in this conference if you can and share your opinions, your ideas, your views. Just like, for example, we're going to open a youth camp. Maybe we'll have to open a camp for a health facility where people can go and heal. Maybe that's another thing we have to look at. But I'll wait till all the ideas come in. And people send them our way, and our job at the Federation as a government is trying to find a solution for it. Now, let's get back to some good stuff other than the sad parts and struggles we do face, but we also have solutions to make it better for everyone. Now, Robert Conway, I want to speak about Sharon Pronto's son. He's actually fundraising for cancer care, ATV Ride for Mom, it's called. And he's not only does he run the Elsie Bear's Kitchen, he kept it going through COVID and delivering food everywhere. So I want to give him kudos for the business he's done there. He's participating in ATV Ride for his mom, which is in support of cancer care in Manitoba. So it's a 90-kilometer ride. So good kudos to him, and he's doing a good job. He's going to represent us out there, and I'm very, very proud of that we are helping in cancer care. As you know, we gave $1 million several years ago on behalf of our people, but we need to continue supporting cancer care because it does make a difference in our people's lives, and our people are not immune to cancer. In fact, a lot of our people get affected by cancer, so we need to support it. So you need to support it some way. Get a hold of Robert Conway at the Elsie Bear's Kitchen and see how you can put support that way to help him on his fundraising. It's happening on June 4th. That's today. So he's on his way somewhere. I'm sure he still can sponsor. We also have an athlete, Ray, I want to congratulate this athlete. He's actually going to the, hopefully for the future, he's going to go to the Olympics. He's traveling to Mexico this year for the Pan Am Games. And his mom is Meredy Caruso on CTV News. You see her every morning. And then in the evenings in news. And his father is Jason Church. He's from Swan River. Métis family, Métis man. Church family is a very hard-working family, harvester family, and they're always out there helping in some form or another. But their son is going to Pan Am Games in wrestling, so and hopefully the Olympics in the future, and we'll have a Métis Olympian athlete out there. But going to make his way all the way to Mexico is a very, very important aspect. He actually competed in trials in May 26, 29 in Edmonton, and he was successful race, so he's going to go represent our country. And definitely he asked for our flags, which we sent to him already. They want to carry our Métis flags when they go out there. Fantastic. So again, kudos to you, Jason Church, and of course Meredy Caruso on your son Connor. And big support to his way. If you need more support, give us a call. But I'm very proud of these. Just like our curling athletes, you look at winning so many different tournaments, and so I'm very proud of the work they've done there. And then you look at hockey, you look at Connor Dewar, another athlete and plays in Minnesota NHL. And but it shows you we can definitely produce them. We just got to invest in them and be around them and support them in some way or another. So kudos to you, Connor. I know you'll do us proud out in that area. So, Ray, I want to say again to everybody listening on Métis Hour, again, thank you for always standing up and being there. Ray's getting close to his retirement. He's probably never going to retire. He'll be on a show whenever he wants to come on a show. He'll be mentoring somebody, and we're still looking for applications. I believe they're looking at some already. The person we selected didn't turn out at the end. We had different opinions, I guess, with our department downstairs that does the hiring, and did not see that it could be met on the requirements that the person was looking for. Right. It wasn't about money; it was about something else. And so, at the end of the day, it turned out the person said, "Well, maybe it's better I don't take the job right now." So we'll give it to somebody else. And there's a lot of people that did apply, Ray, and they'll be back. I think they're back looking at it. I haven't spoken to Anita yet to find out where they're at. But we'll have somebody on the show that Ray will tutor and bring up. But you don't be as friendly and smiling. They'll probably no longer talk about records like you and I, Ray. So they'll talk about something new in technology. But anyways, aside from that, I want to thank everybody for the treatment they gave me in Cranberry. I'm very proud when I travel like that. Bert was on the weather. Bert's, of course, the local chair, Linfit, and he was on top of the location of checking the weather for us. He got me some minnows out in the paw. He was out there at the meeting. He bought me some minnows. So I want to thank again Bert for taking care of me out there. And and I got a call from a citizen. I had another job to do from the paw. His daughter potentially has been selected as to a particular private school because of her marks are quite remarkable, and so we're going to see how we can work with that family there. So, and a lot of people that I bumped into said hi, and as I was traveling, stopping in a gas station or somewhere. So, it's always important to carry that sign of respect. The elder told me, "How do you want to be remembered when you leave this world?" Well, I want to be remembered as a man of great stature that supported my people, fought for my people, never gave up for my people, and always treated people with respect. That's what I definitely want to be remembered as, a man that fought for my people forever. So,
and you are. I must say that.
Well, when you show respect, my mom always said, "You show respect, you'll get respect." Yeah. If you want to treat people, you'll treat people how you want to be treated. So, I always try to make sure I treat people with great respect. So. And I could see that returned when I travel and I bump into people everywhere. So, or they want to stop and take a picture with me. So, it makes me feel a little bit special when I really like that. So, again, to everybody out there, take care. And to all those, if we missed any birthdays or funerals, I heard there was a funeral there on St. Laurent. So, again, for all those loved ones, our prayers go out to you. And if there's any way we can help. And remember, in our funerals, if people are passing, right now the Federation is still giving $5,000 in support of funeral costs. We send it directly to the funeral home. So if your loved one is going to leave this world, I know the hardship it is, the grieving, there's so much emotional loss that's happening in the family. There's a lot of hardship that's taking place, and families have enough strain on their mind and their family we don't want to put financial strain on them. That's why our cabinet decided to help out by giving $5,000 to the funerals to help out the cost. So this way it takes away pressure from the family and focuses on helping them grieve, helping them heal, and helping them understand that their loved one had to leave this world because not by choice, by somebody else's choice with more power than we have. So with that being said, Ray, I'll talk to you guys next Saturday. I'm glad to be home in my house here. I always, no matter where I go, Ray, I always miss home. I want to come back, you know. So same thing when I go to Duck Bay, I still feel at home when I go home all the time. And but here, even though I'm in Cranberry, being spoiled, I still wanted to come home here. I feel when I wake up in my bed, I just feel a sense of, you know,
yeah,
it's a good feeling, you know. So again, take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you guys next Saturday. And to all those elders, thank you again for always giving us guidance. Oh, our elders conference, I'm planning it right now for August. I know a lot of people are phoning in already. They want to be part of it. Oh, St. Madeline's coming up July 15, 16, and 17, I believe. And we are going to take elders to St. Madeleine. So if you're going to be coming, get a hold of your regions because we have to book hotels, and then we're going to probably book a bus and to take our people to St. Madeleine so they can enjoy great music, great festivities. And I want to congratulate all those people in St. Madeleine that keep that memory alive, the community of Wet'suwet'en Town. Remember, never forget, they burnt our entire village, our Métis village, for cows. And not one person in this country stood up for them.
Right.
You know, 1939, I believe, or 1930, that took place. That was not in 1800s. This is 1900s. And no one stood up, and they allowed them to burn the church, the school, the village down for cattle, you know, and yet there's about 200 families that live there, 200 people. So think about that, Ray. Burn them for cows. Burn their entire house down for a cow, you know. So It just shows you how they thought about our people and that we've come a long way. And so, again, St. Madeleine's coming up, so be prepared. I know Gloria will be cooking up a storm for the elders there again. She's already getting ready, and she's shaking her head. No, I'm not. She's lying. She'll be cooking because they all come to our camper all the time. So we'll be having our typical support. Our camper will be fully busy as usual. And I just love that when elders come over for tea and come over for a snack or come for lunch. And we'll have, I'm sure Barbara will be cooking fresh bannock and bread out there. She's listening, Barb Fleury. And so again, Ray, maybe you'll make your way. Ray, you should come sing some songs there. I'll give you some resources to make sure you get there.
All right.
June 15, 16, and 17. I'll put you on that list.
Okay, I'll check it when I get home.
Check it out, yeah. July, not June, sorry. July 15, 16,
July.
17. Yeah. Oh, and going back to my last statement, the Elders Conference, I'm still looking in Selkirk. I talked to the mayor. I know there's construction in the park, but I'm trying to make sure everything's organized. And I still want that Elders Conference and Youth Conference to take place, which is great to see so many elders together, but the youth, and then, of course, families coming to participate in the whether it's the animal zoo that they have there or the bouncies, whatever you call it, jump up and down on, and all kind of free burgers and hot dogs by Bucky, as usual. Will be cooking the storm there. And so I look forward to seeing our elders there, too. So that's coming up. And then our assembly is coming up in September again. No, sorry, October. Be prepared for that. So, again, there's going to be a lot of activity throughout the summer and a lot of places I'll be visiting. So I'll talk to you guys next Saturday. And, Ray, you'll keep up the good work and don't ever leave the Métis Hour. That's yours and mine. We built it, and it's ours until you decide to leave this world by somebody else. And you'll always be on the show.
Thank you so much, David. I appreciate that.
Always, Ray.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cowboy, for finding me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, bye now. David Chartrand, of course, the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, with his weekly report, Métis Matters.